Hey friends! I am waiting for it to load here for a minute. There we go. There it is. Hey friends! Hey! Thanks for joining us tonight as we jump into a live for the first time. I see some friends just showing up, and we're gonna hang for a minute while everybody joins us. And we are jumping in. Thanks for being patient with me as I get my technology going. We're jumping into Facebook Live for the first time ever. First time ever. So thanks for being patient with me tonight as I jump in, you guys. We are going to talk about book organization. Krista's here too. She's going to hang out with us in the comments and answer questions for you and drop some links for you and all that kind of good stuff. We have loved getting to know lots of new people in our parents group that have been hanging out with us and sharing lots of great tips for you with your kids and reading on our blog. And so we've had a few people ask about us jumping in and doing some live video, and we're here to jump in and try it out. So it's good to see you, and thanks for coming. Hey Jenny, thanks for joining us tonight. I know a lot of friends lately have been talking to us about getting our parent guide, our 9-step guide to helping get your kids learning nice and easily while you're working or managing other kids or whatever else you are doing. So if you haven't grabbed that yet, Crystal will put a link to that in the comments for you. And really, we wanted to jump in this week and do some lives so that we could dig a little bit deeper on some of those topics. So, hey, before we do that, I know a few more people are planning to join us. It is spring break week at my house. I'm wondering if anybody else is on spring break. Are you guys on spring break yet or not? I know some people already had spring break, and I know also somebody else has spring break next week. So it's a little all over the place. But I'm wondering, tell us in the comments. Will you say hi and tell us, are you on spring break? You and your kids. I know not every grown-up is on spring break, but it's spring break at my house, which means a little break from virtual teaching and also lots of Lego playing and book reading and all that good stuff. So yes, cool. All right, you're on spring break too. Very good. Awesome. All right, you guys. Well, hey, let's just jump in. We want to make sure that we use your time wisely. We appreciate you showing up and hanging out with us tonight. And we did 9 o'clock because we thought the mamas would be able to get the kids in bed and we could get our kids in bed too. But also tell us in the comments if there's a different time that is better for you, because we would love to know that too. So you're on spring break, and yes, ooh, nice, teachers and the kindergartner. So we're just staying home. We're doing work and rest and Legos and bike rides. So I'm assuming, are you home too, Jenny? Anybody else staying home this week, or are you traveling? Hopefully you're home if you're joining us, because if you're traveling, you'd be, off doing something fun. So anyways, we'll jump in though, and so we don't waste your time, and we want to give you some really good content that you can use quick and easy and have it be tangible, and that you can use tomorrow. So that is our whole goal. Whenever we're sharing tips with you, we want you to be able to grab them and use them right away. We don't ever want to create extra work for the moms, right? No moms need extra work ever. So quick, easy, tangible tips. That's the plan for us tonight. And we're specifically going to just focus in on one topic, which is book organization. So I would love to see if you want to put in the comments, do you feel like the book organization at your home is in control or out of control? Because we've heard both. And also, we don't want to make the assumption that everybody has just an abundance of books. All the tips that we give you today are things that will help encourage your child's reading and that you could do with library books, okay? So you could easily take all these tips and do them with library books. You could also, really good tip would be to look up where all the little free libraries are around you. If you feel like you want to add to your book collection, that's a great way to go around and get some free books. Garage sales are probably right around the corner, I think, right? And that's a great place to get books. And also your local libraries usually have bins of used books that they're getting rid of too. So if you're looking to add to your book collection, there's some ideas. And all the tips we'll give you today are things you can also do with library books. But also many people are saying they've got out of control. I see in the comments. Out of control books. Yes. And so we totally get that too. That is what's happening at my house. if you're like me, my husband is saying, like, if you buy another kid's book, you're in big trouble, right? Because the kids' book, they just keep coming because we love them so much. So they can easily get out of control. So we worked hard on how to make them organized in a way that's like less stress for the parents, right? We always want to make your life easier. And it's fun when things are put away nice and neat. But also the bigger goal is, what can we do when we organize books to help encourage reading for the kids? So we want reading motivation to be front of mind always. And so every tip we give you, our real purpose is that they're tips that are going to be easy for your kids to grab books and be motivated to actually read them. Okay, so yes, we want our books to like look nice and neat and be organized, but we really want our kids to pick up the books and read them, and that's the whole goal. So we're trying to make sure we have some tips that fit into both of those categories. All right, I want to catch up on comments over here. Ooh, it's so fun. Somebody said Jake, your husband, is making you a little free library. I actually put that on I have like a running Christmas list. Like, someday these are the things I want for Christmas or whenever. And that's on my list too. I want my hubby to build one. Oh, and I see somebody has leveled books. Yes, but the baby is dumping them everywhere. Got it. Yes. That happens at my house too. Okay, so let me jump in. Let me give you some tips. All these things, like, feel free, take notes, yeah, if you want to, but please don't do that. Chris will throw some tips in some easy references in the chat box. And then also all of these are detailed on a blog post. She'll put the link in the comments for you for that blog post. And they're all in our free parent guide. So you can grab them there too. So you don't have to remember any of these things. Just hang out with us. Tell us in the comments like how these things may or may not work for you. Or if you have other ideas to share too, we would love that. Always want to learn from all the mamas. So yay, Sarah, joining us too. Hey, Sarah, so glad you're here. Okay, let's jump in. Okay, the first tip, I want to know if anybody else does this, is the library book basket. I don't know, Krista, if you came up with this or me. I think it was me. And let me tell you the real reason that I did this. It's because the library late fees were getting out of control because I can't keep track of all things, right? And thankfully my librarians are so lovely to me that, it was okay. But I cannot handle any more library late fees. I need to keep track of where the library books are. So that might have been the original motivation, but it helps so much with reading motivation for my little guy too, because he's excited about the library books that we get. We do a library pickup order maybe every 2 weeks, okay? So I just want to show you my library basket here. It's just like a little basket that I had in my house already. Honestly, because they're chalk, you can change them up and use them in lots of different ways. So I just grabbed whatever basket I already had at my house. I keep a bin of these chalk tags in my house for whenever I'm organizing something, I can grab it and use it. And then this lives in our playroom. It could live anywhere in your house, in your kitchen, in your living room, wherever you guys are spending time reading books, in your kids' bedroom. But I trained my son to know that any books that come from the library have to go back in library basket. And when you're super clear about that and it's labeled, it happens. He's not perfect, but it happens most of the time, I will say. So you can see our library basket right now is filled with Octonauts books. They're not amazing literature. Nope, they're not. But my son is super into Octonauts. So our last library order, we ordered all the Octonauts books that you could, find. So that's why they're in there. Sometimes if we get a movie from the library, it lives in there too. But the basket keeps things organized for you, right? You avoid the late fees. But also, it's exciting because the kids always know where their new library books are. They're not just lost when you get home from the library. So does anybody else have a library basket that you keep? I promise it will save you the late fees. And also it will entice your kids to pick up the new books. And it's always fun when he's asking, he sees we've had those books in the library bin for a while. Can we take them back? And this time, can we order all the snake books or whatever the topic is? So the library basket gets refreshed every couple weeks. Okay, next tip, we want to keep our books accessible and make them enticing for your kids to read. So a couple different ways that you can do that. We like to keep books in all the rooms that we like are regularly spending time in. So, like I said, we have a playroom that we keep lots of our books in, but also if we know we spend a lot of time in the living room, we've got a little basket by the fireplace in the living room. I know Krista keeps a lot of books in her living room because that's where her family is most of the time. A couple other places that maybe you haven't thought of is keeping a little bin of books in your bathroom, in the kids' bathroom next to the bathtub. So that's a place where they are, if you have little ones, of course, where they're contained. And so having those like books in a little basket already by the bathtub makes it really easy to pick up something and read without having to think about it. So I know a lot of people, somebody messaged me yesterday and said, I'm so glad you're going to talk about this because we just don't remember to read all the books we have. And so this is a way to, if you have them in designated little places that you spend a lot of time, it's going to help you remember to read them. So having a little basket by the bathtub is a fun way to make sure that you're reading books more often with little ones. And then other places that you spend a lot of time, we like to keep a little basket under our kitchen table. And so it's an easy thing to do, like, hey, mommy needs more time when I'm setting the table, grab your book basket. Or they could be kept, of course, next to the bed so they're ready to go for nighttime. Any other ideas? Throw your ideas in the chat box. But wherever you're spending a lot of time, put your little book baskets there. And then, you guys that are saying the books are out of control, they're not all in one spot. And you can even rotate what books are in each basket. So, the same books are in that little basket that's next to the bathtub for a month or 2 months or whenever you think of it. And then you swap them out and it's exciting because you've got new books in that basket. The big basket, somebody asked, where did I get this big basket? Honestly, I said, I think it's from like my wedding shower. I'm cheap. I just like find things in my house. So maybe Krista has some good ideas for you where you could get a big basket like that. But I think it was in like my garage or something. I don't even know. Okay, couple more ideas, ways that you can keep books organized but enticing for your kids are to choose books that are important to you and to your family, and then keep those in a place where you're going to read them often. So again, Mom yesterday said, we just forget to read the books. We have so many, we don't pull them out and read them enough. So you'll want to make sure that the ones that are special to you maybe get in a place where you can easily grab them without having to think too hard. So for Krista and I, we like to make sure that we have Bible stories around for our kids. And so for you, that might be something different. But books such as these, I just grabbed them. I know Krista, I think, keeps them in a little bookshelf like low in her living room. And I keep them on a low bookshelf in our playroom. But they're ones that I specifically want my kids to be able to grab. And for me to remember to grab and read to them often without having to think about it or dig through lots of books. We're blessed with so many books, so I want to make sure that the ones that are really important to me, actually Krista bought this for my little guy a long time ago when he was a little guy, baby, and we just keep them in a spot where we can grab them easily, okay? So the ones that are like special priority to you, you'll want to make sure you have them in a spot where you can grab them easily. Ooh, somebody said car. Thank you, Sarah. Hey, Sarah. I didn't have that on my list. I don't think that's in our blog post either. Oh my goodness, what a great idea. And I totally have a little bin that stays in the car for like things to keep busy with. So another great spot. See, you guys are awesome. Bin in the car of books. Okay, I'm going to move on because I want to keep going, give you some good ideas. Feature books. So does anybody love a bookstore as much as we do? And why do we love a bookstore? Because when we go in the bookstore, the displays are like, well, if you're a book person, which you probably are if you're here, but the displays, right, at the bookstores, you're like, I want to read all these books because they put like all the summer reads on one table. Does anybody run to the summer book bin, right? Or not bin, but you know what I mean, like display. Or like, I don't know, if you like thriller books, those are like all on display wherever. But when you go into the bookstore, you see like all the displays of the different kinds of books, and they look enticing. They make you want to pick them up and read them. So we want to set that up for our kids too. And I promise it can be done without a lot of work or without thinking ahead of time. But just putting books on display, and then you can rotate them out. So we say like a feature book spot. So again, for me, we have a bookshelf in our playroom, and I just have one bookshelf that's always cleaned off. without like stuff that's like regularly there. And then I swap out the books and have them on display. So this is like my office area, so not my playroom, but you can kind of see like how I have books on display on the shelf here. Putting them out on display, almost like you're at a bookstore, is a way to get them to like be excited about them. And I don't even tell my son about it beforehand. So I usually will do it when he goes to bed, and it can be once a week or once a month, once a season, like whenever you have time or whenever you think about it. I just put all the books up on display on that one shelf, and he'll come down in the morning and be like, oh wow, all the Christmas books are out. And he just wants to grab them and read them because they're like sitting up on a shelf. Like it was that easy, and it doesn't have to be planned ahead of time. It can be like, at the last second. So a couple different ways that you might want to set up like a feature spot. Maybe it's like a shelf in your kid's bedroom, like on their dresser. Maybe, I think Krista uses her like fireplace, whatever you call that thing, like in front of the fireplace. So whatever like special spot that you can come up with that you want to keep your as your feature spot, and then you can rotate the books out there. So a couple ideas for like when you might rotate those out would be seasons, like all the winter books are out, or the fall books, or holidays. Like I said, we get all the Christmas books out, or the Thanksgiving books. And again, these are great for library orders because I don't know, I have like 2 Thanksgiving books. Who has a basket of Thanksgiving books? Maybe you guys do. Anyways, it can be a great way to like get library books to put as your feature spots as well. Maybe like lessons, like, I don't know, you're talking to your kid a lot about sharing or kindness or something like that, something that's important to you. Then you do a library order on a whole bunch of books on that topic, and those books are all of a sudden out on your feature spot. And you can have those be, it's also a great place to put books that are high interest for your kid if you are trying to get them to read more often and willingly on their own. Or books that you really want to encourage them to read. So I have a couple examples for you. One, again, my little guy's 5, so I know we probably have lots of different age levels here, but I don't know if anybody has trouble like getting those kids to pick up the books and read without you asking them to or encouraging them to. And so finding really high interest books and having them out is a great way to do that. So I just grabbed some of these I have at my house. Again, PJ Masks, just like Octonauts, not the best books in the world, but they're super cute, right? And they're like the easy to read, ready to read ones. But my son likes the show, so I think Grandma bought him these books. And so they're easy ones to like have out on display because it gets him to want to read them, right? He comes downstairs and all of a sudden these ones are out. Oh, the PJ Masks books, and he wants to get them down and read them. You could also do it, I think Krista mentioned this in the comment, to put out like mama choice books that you really want to either have your kid read or that you want to read to them. If you have them out on display, you're going to be more likely to do that. So I just grabbed a couple that are our favorites that Krista and I know we both love, like, whoop, I'm going to drop them all the places to love. This is one of our favorites. Like every Max Lucado book, Lucado, I don't know if I say that right. We love all of them. So Come On Rain is a favorite. So these are books too that like maybe they're not my kids' high interest, but they're books that they live in my bookshelf and they're buried, and they're ones that I know I want my kid to read. And so I might have those be my display books for a month. And they're ones that he's going to then be more interested in and that I'm going to remember to grab and read. I know I just gave you a whole bunch of information and I'm talking too fast. I want to look at the comments real quick to see if I missed anything. I know Chris isn't there answering questions. But, oh yes, see, somebody said, Lauren, you just took you took pictures of all the books at Barnes & Noble because you wanted to buy them all, right? Just because they were on display. You were like, oh, new books. It really is a trick. Does anybody else do it at their house? It's a trick for the kids too. Just put them up on a bookshelf. All of a sudden they're on display. Your kids are like, whoa, I should read those. Yes, good idea. Sarah says wrapping the Christmas books. I have many friends that do that. I have never done it. Sarah, do you get new books? Are they like gifts? Or do you rewrap like the Christmas books that you own? Because I know 2 people and they do both of those things. But that is an excellent way to like build excitement. Like every day of December, she's so excited to pick up a book and read. I love it. And oh, yep, I see lots of comments on the Christmas books. Highly efficient. You appreciate the fast talking. Well, good. Thanks, Lauren. You're the best. Okay, I'm going to throw a couple more tips at you before I let you guys get out of here, because I know your kids are sleeping and you need to relax too. So another idea for organizing the books is to have a few bins that are labeled by category. So this reflects like what a lot of classrooms look like. If you walk into a elementary classroom, you're going to probably see bins that are labeled like, that's so fun, Jenny, the new books. But you'll see bins that are labeled such as like all the Clifford books, all the, seasonal Halloween books, all of each of the different things. Teachers are going to generally have books that are labeled by category. And so that is another way that you could do that at your own home. If you feel like you have an abundance of books and they're out of control, to put them by category. And I shared this tip, or Kristen and I shared it with somebody a few weeks ago, and she was like, I love that idea, but my kids aren't like really reading. They wouldn't read the bins independently yet. So I'm going to hang on to that tip and do it later. And our idea for her was to label the bins with pictures. So you could definitely just print a picture of whatever is in that bin and put it there. And it also really helps your kids to put things back where they belong. So I do this, I label everything. But book bins is a really great way to keep things organized for you, and also for your kids to just browse more easily, right? If you think about how when you want to read a book, you might look, if you're at the bookstore, like you're going to go look for all of the whatever kind of books you like to look for, right? You're going to browse in that one section. And so your kids, if they love a certain book or a certain topic or a certain author, it would be really nice for them to browse in a bin that is labeled by that category. So I just grabbed an example from, I didn't bring the bin up, sorry, but from my downstairs. I have like a whole bunch of Pete the Cat books. If you can believe it, I have a real cat named Pete. So people love to buy us Pete the Cat books for gifts. And I don't think we have any repeats, which is kind of fun. So I've got like a whole stack of Pete the Cat books. But if we keep them all in one bin, it's a fun way for my son to do some browsing. He goes to the Pete the Cat bin and can get out the books that he is interested in. So keeping little bins labeled by category, or even category pictures. If your kids aren't going to read all the words, you could easily just print a picture of that author or that character and stick it on the bin, and then your kids can find those books really easily. So does anybody else do that? Categorize your bins? I know Krista does, definitely, but I'm looking at comments to see if anybody else categorizes by their bins. Another tip, I'm going to keep going, is to have a bin of books that your child can read independently. So again, I know there's lots of age levels and probably different reader levels that are here, are going to be watching this, but having books that they can easily read independently builds their confidence and is for sure going to impact their reading motivation. So again, my son is young, so he's like, real early reader. And so I've got a bin here. These are his books. They're all books that he can read independently, so that when he goes to grab them, he knows that these are ones that he can grab and read independently and feel confident with, and it helps increase his motivation versus just going to the bookshelf in the playroom with all the books that he knows are books that like he'll need help with, or he can only read the pictures. So I've got lots of like super easy, again, these are not like high recommended books or anything. They're just like really easy reads, right? They're ones that like he can read very easily. And so we keep them in his special bin. So you could buy a bin for this, or you can do what I did, which is we made one out of a cereal box. And you could wrap it in whatever. Ours is wrapped literally in the tablecloth from the Lion King birthday party that we had that was left over. So I'm all about like grab and reuse. So tablecloth from the Lion King birthday, we cut a cereal box, covered it for fun, put his name on it, and he loves to keep all of his like super easy read books in there. If you have an older reader, they could put their own book bin together and they could choose the books. And maybe if they're a great reader, like a high reader, I know Sarah, you've got really high readers, you could have them choose like favorite books. So not just books they can read independently, but books that are their favorites. And so it's nice and easy to go to that bin where they have those favorites and they can grab them really easily. So Just looking. Oh, yay. Somebody said you just grabbed and organized the books that she can read on her own. So, yes, creating like a little special spot to put those is a great way to really encourage um, their independent reading. Krista, I think, is laughing at my book bin. Is that why you're laughing, Krista? Because I bet you Krista has like a really pretty one at her house. I'll have her bring it next time and show you. She's going to join us sometimes live too. And mine's, yep, cereal box. That's how I roll. That's how I roll. Okay, Krista, did I forget anything? You guys, they're like simple, easy tips. The impact will surprise you, truly. Yeah, she's laughing at my tablecloth. It will surprise you. So we encourage you to start small, but start today. So pick one of those things that you maybe connected with and thought like, oh, I think that would help my reader, or I think that would help them get excited about grabbing new books in our house, or maybe it's just going to help you and make you feel less stressed out that is going to, you're going to know where the books are, or it's going to clear some of the clutter for you and get things more organized. So pick one of those things. You don't have to remember any of them. Krista, if you can put in the comments again a link to our 9-step parent guide. One of the whole pages in there, really quick, easy, very pretty, printable for you guys, totally free. And you can grab that, and all of these tips that I shared with you today are listed in there. So you can grab that and print it. And then head over to our blog. It's all listed up on there too. Lots of ideas and lots of other ideas for you, helping you to encourage your readers. I see lots of people heading out, so have a great night if you're already heading out. But theliteracyladies.net is where you can find our blog and lots of new ideas, you guys. And if you want us to help organize or help entertain your kids while you organize, I'm not going to come organize your books, but while you organize your books, we are happy to entertain your kiddos at Virtual Literacy Camp. So Krista will put a link to that in the chat box as well, or in the comment box. And so if you're interested, go check that out. We are entertaining kids for Spring Break Virtual Literacy Camp, really helping increase motivation for reading and writing, and it is so fun. And it's going to be launching April 1st. You can purchase Virtual Literacy Camp for the summer too. So you can check it out now for spring break or for the summer. And yeah, we'll hang out with those kiddos and have lots of fun entertaining them and learning together while you go organize your books or have some coffee or get some work done or whatever you need to do. So, all right, you guys. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. I hope you grabbed like just one or two easy ideas that you can implement in your house and help make things easier and less stressful for you mamas and encourage independent, motivated reading for your kiddos. All right, have a great rest of your night. Thanks, Lauren. I like the comment about literacy camp. We're so glad your kids are loving it.